This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The Prime Minister advises relevant authorities to implement a new program to educate the farmers on organic fertilizer. The Adivasi Vanilatto praises the government's decision on organic fertilizer for the health protection of the future generation. The Dambana FM channel will be reorganized. The Lanka Phosphate Company gazetted under the Ministry of Agriculture. A special gazette declares postal operations as an essential service. 2,134 corona-infected persons have recovered. Hardliner Raisi set to win in the first round at the Iranian election. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has emphasized that it has become a timely need to pay attention on the usage of organic fertilizer for cultivation activities for a healthy generation. He also said a systematic program has been prepared in this regard. The Prime Minister advised relevant authorities to prepare a systematic program to acknowledge the farmer communities. He further stated that a new program should be implemented to promote exercises for the people and children with organic cultivation-based schools and temples. The Prime Minister also praised the support given by the intellectuals to expand the organic cultivation in the country. He made these views at a meeting held with experts on organic fertilizer at the temple trees to expand it in the country. The support of all is needed in this regard. The chairman of the Government Medical Officers Union, Dr. Anuruddha Padania, said that the people are being affected by health deteriorations due to the practice of using chemical fertilizers for cultivation activities for more than 60 years. He also pointed out that water and environment pollution has increased due to chemical materials. According to an audit report, 200 varieties of poisonous chemical materials are being imported to the country. The groups who obtain privileges and financial benefits by importing these poisonous chemicals are creating conspiracies against the expansion of organic fertilizer. The Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Aluthkamage said that the government is ready to purchase organic fertilizer products at a high price. He said 12 foreign embassy officers have agreed to provide their support for the organic fertilizer cultivation process in the country. The leader of the Adivasi community, Uruvarigi Vanilatto, says that the decision taken by the president to use organic fertilizer has confirmed the health protection of the future generations. He made this remark when he met the chairman of the SLBC, Jayampati Bandara Heenkenda, today to discuss the reorganization of the Dambana FM channel. The Vanilatto also requested the public to provide their support to the government's program in the usage of organic fertilizer. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has amended the functions, responsibilities and institutions falling under the purview of the Industries Ministry and the Agriculture Ministry through a Gazette Extraordinary effective from June 17th. Thereby, the Lanka Phosphate Company Limited, which was previously under the purview of the Industries Ministry, has been brought under the Agriculture Ministry. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get your EPF loan information and service details via SMS from HDFC Bank.
The government yesterday declared the operations carried out by the Postal Department as an essential service. This was announced by a Gazette Extraordinary published by the Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara on the directives of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Gazette notification says that the postal services have been identified as essential services for the conduct of ordinary public life, taking into account the possibility of any hindrance or disruption in the provision of such services, as well as the facts mentioned in the guidelines issued by the Director General of Health Services on COVID-19 prevention. thereby the acceptance and delivery of local and foreign letters, printed materials and parcels, the provision of postal-related information, registered letters, cash on delivery COD, local and foreign express mail services, speed post EMS, special services of delivery of pharmaceuticals and money transactions, and all other activities relating to postal services in operation under the Postal Department have now been declared as essential services. 2,134 more novel coronavirus patients were discharged from medical care within the last 24 hours as they have returned to health, the Ministry of Health says. This brings the total number of recoveries of COVID-19 in the country to 199,393. Sri Lanka has so far reported 235,413 positive cases of COVID-19 and 33,595 of them are still being treated at designated hospitals and treatment centres. Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi says that necessary advice has been given to the relevant authorities to provide hospital treatment with all the facilities to the people of the Ratnapura district. She also pointed out that all the state employees should work jointly to eradicate the COVID-19 situation in the Ratnapura district. She further said that the required measures have already been taken to control the spread of the COVID-19 virus in the Ratnapura district. That's local news.
Now, get your EPF loan information and service details via SMS from HDFC Bank. Wherever you are, being a state and private sector employee, to obtain EPF loan information and service details, just send a SMS mentioning EPF space, name and region to 0718 800 999. HDFC Bank, the bank for your home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Deputy General Manager of Railways, Gamini Seneviratne, says that trains will be operated only within the provinces after the lifting of the travel restrictions on the 21st at 4 a.m. He told the SLBC that trains will operate from 4 a.m. on the 21st to 10 p.m. on the 23rd. Accordingly, 6 trains on the main railway line, 4 trains along the coastal line, 4 along the Kalani Valley railway line, and 3 along the Puttalama railway lines will be operated. Meanwhile, the Deputy General Manager of the National Transport Board, Panduka Swarnahansa, said that no final decision has been reached regarding bus operations.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the deadline to accept applications to issue media identity cards for the 2021 year will end on the 30th of this month. The Director General of the Government Information Department, Mohan Sabaranayaka, said that the media ID issued for the year 2020 is valid for the year 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation. The media ID for the year 2021 has been issued to some journalists. The rest will be issued before the 30th of July. The relevant documents to obtain this ID should be submitted to the department before the 30th of this month. That came to you in Watchlight. And now in world news headlines, hardliner Raisi set to win in first round at the Iranian election. The Palestinians cancel vaccine swap deal with Israel. The Chinese president congratulates Guterres on re-election as UN chief. Hardliner Ibrahim Raisi is to be Iran's next president after a partial vote count gave him an unassailable lead. He beat 3 other candidates in a poll in which several contenders were barred from standing. Mr. Raisi is Iran's top judge and holds ultra-conservative views. He is under US sanctions and has been linked to past executions of political prisoners. Iran's president is the second highest-ranking official in the country after the supreme leader. The president has significant influence over domestic policy and foreign affairs, but it is Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei who has the final say on all state matters. The Palestinian Authority has cancelled a deal under which Israel was to give it at least 1 million COVID-19 vaccines. The authority said Pfizer jabs were too close to their expiry date. Earlier, Israel said it didn't need an aging stock of vaccines and they were to be used to speed up the Palestinian vaccination program. In return, the Palestinians were to give Israel a similar number of vaccines they're expecting from the Pfizer organization later in the year. Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday sent congratulatory messages to Antonio Guterres and Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa over Guterres' re-election as United Nations Secretary-General. In his messages, Xi said that as the most universal, representative and authoritative intergovernmental international organization, the UN plays an important role in international affairs. China expects Guterres to continue to fulfill his obligations laid out in the UN Charter, uphold an objective and just position, firmly preserve multilateralism and make greater contributions to world peace and common development. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Hardliner Raisi said to win in the first round of the Iranian election. The Palestinians cancel vaccine swap deal with Israel. The Chinese president congratulates Guterres on re-election as UN chief. That was world news, and now in development news, the ancient canals in the Bundala area in the Ruhunumagampura area will be developed. The reconstruction activities of the main reservoirs in the area have also been commenced. The government has also paid attention on removing slits in the valleys and canals. The reconstruction work will be carried out under the climatic Suhravari agriculture project. That was development news, and now in sports news, veteran all-rounder Samit Patel took the starring role as Nottinghamshire Outlaws beat Derbyshire by 2 runs to go second in the North Group after a Vitality Blast match shortened by rain to 15 overs aside. The 36-year-old hit 3 sixes and 6 fours in an unbeaten 6-2, his first half-century in the format for 3 years in his 110th consecutive appearance, and in taking 2 for 14 from 3 overs of his left-arm spin, entered the record books as the first English player to complete the double of 250 wickets and 5,000 runs in 2020 cricket. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Cinnamon cultivation has become the main export crop in the Hambantota district. Cinnamon cultivation will be carried out on 4,000 hectares in the island. There are more than 200 cinnamon processing centres for export in the district. Cinnamon cultivation is being done with the use of organic fertiliser in order to obtain a higher price for it.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The income of commercial goods exports in the month of April this year has exceeded to $818 billion. It is the highest export income when compared to the past years. The export income of industrial goods has increased by 302.5%.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says a few showers will occur in the western, central, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Wind speeds will be 30 to 40 kilometers per hour in the western slopes of the central hills, in the northern, north central and the northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. Wind speeds can increase up to 50 kilometers per hour at times in these areas.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Prime Minister advises relevant authorities to implement a new program to educate the farmers on organic fertilizer. The Adivasi Vani Lapto praises the government's decision on organic fertilizer for the health protection of the future generation. The Dambana FM channel will be reorganized. The Lanka Phosphate Company gazetted under the Ministry of Agriculture. A special gazette declares postal operations as an essential service. 2,134 coronavirus-infected persons have recovered. Hardliner Raisi set to win in the first round at the Iranian election. That concludes this news broadcast.